Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Human Library. With me today is Adriano. I'm Aslan. Today, we're going to be talking about monk mode. Monk mode is an interesting term because it's a modern invention, like as a term, monk mode.
Yeah,
It's a modern invention that's kind of referring to a certain type of monastic practice
yeah,
that monks would usually, when we think of a monk, we think of a person who's kind of divorces themselves from earthly pleasures in a way, right?
just goes like spirit in the spiritual path, in
Yeah,
the religious
yeah,
way
yeah,
of being.
yeah, yeah. Thinking about like the earliest kind of, well, it's also interesting that when we say monk, we think of like always the like Buddhist monks.
We think about Buddhist monks, yeah.
That's
We
true,
don't think
right?
about other type of monks,
Right? That's
which
interesting.
I think they come from other type of monks, right? Like
Yeah,
I don't know, Jesuits,
yeah.
Catholic, Protestants, or whatever.
Yeah, I think it's an archetype.
Yeah,
The person that is like, wants to go inward kind
Mm.
of, and like achieve enlightenment or look for answers within.
But that's still Buddhist. Like,
That's still Buddhist,
yeah,
right?
because in Christianity they don't have the.
That's true.
It's not the idea of the inside, like in the inside search
Mm.
of the enlightenment or soul. It's
Mm-hmm.
more of the outside, like into the heavens.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But I do agree with what you're saying.
Yeah, but yeah, the aspect that's the same, I guess, is the fact that these people are,
The vows,
yeah,
the
they
isolation,
isolation,
the dedicating their entire life for this purpose.
yeah, like, or
For the
intense prayer,
yes,
stuff
yes,
like
yes,
that.
yes.
Um, but when we think of Buddhist monks and like, even before Buddhism, um, like when Buddha was, yeah, I don't know, Buddha was probably a real person or no, we don't know, right?
Well, according to Buddhism, there has been like 1 billion Buddhas. There's
Okay, so it's like a avatar type of thing from
yeah,
the
Buddha
Legend of
is
Aang, the
anyone can be
reincarnation.
Buddha. You can be Buddha.
Okay,
Buddha is just a being that reaches enlightenment.
okay,
If you think it like that.
yeah.
Now,
But
the Buddha, yeah,
what was his name?
Siddhartha Gautama.
Siddhartha Gautama.
Yeah. Him. He was a
He
real person.
he was, yeah. So at his time, there were people who were like rejecting all earthly pleasures and like devoting themselves to
Yeah.
this path of enlightenment, ascetics. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't think it's exactly that, but it's a very closely related term, like, people who would like eat 1 grain a day or
Yeah. Well, especially in India, they already had like a bunch of gurus
yeah,
and different like spiritual
yeah,
philosophies and
yeah.
views and
Like,
points.
I looked up meditation, like when it was first, like the origins of
Yeah.
meditation as a practice, and it's
Ooh.
like way before Buddha was even born.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
Siddhartha Gautama.
Um,
But yeah, it was a thing back then. It's just that Buddha was like he had his own kind of approach to it, but like through
Yeah.
intense search, and he kind of proposed a new way, the middle way.
Yes,
Right?
exactly. Yeah, is the famous middle way.
Yeah. But yeah, we tend to think of that, and to me, it just reminds me of like when you think of monk mode, it reminds me of kind of these kind of ascetic people that would like, like it's an extreme version of that, but it's kind of, I think there is a mentality there kind of that's kind of similar, where you're like trying to like work towards something by extreme measures in a way, like isolation, it maybe, or like um
Like focus,
yeah,
like total focus. Dude, as you said before, like monk mode. Yeah, it was. I somewhere along the lines, I think, or I have read that it was like initiated in like around the 2000s, like 2001 or something like that, in the tech industry, like all these tech geeks, for like building code or doing something like impressive. They decide to go like monk mode
yeah,
and literally like seclude themselves in their chambers, which basically was their apartment or their workplace, and
Yeah.
just dedicate themselves like 120% of their energy, time, everything they had on this project to get it done.
Yeah.
And the idea, I think something like that came out of like,
Yeah.
we're gonna go monk mode,
Yeah.
you know. And now the terminology has been adapted for many things.
Yeah, it's very, very general. Like you can, I mean, I know I first discovered it through this online personality, like this guy, Iman Gaji.
Yeah, I know
Maybe
who
you've
he
heard about
is.
him.
Yeah, yeah.
He had his big moments in
He has
social
a
media.
book about it, right? As well, like
Maybe, I'm not
the
sure.
monk
I'm
mentality
not
or
sure.
something.
I don't
I
think
don't know.
so. Not him, but he really was someone who kind of also popularized it a little bit,
Yeah,
like because I think it was talked about a lot in the corners of the internet, but he was someone who's like brought it a bit to the mainstream as well with his like, yeah, like I do this periods of monk mode. Like he says, like I have my own protocol of monk mode,
yeah.
which he says he doesn't drink alcohol. He meditates 10 minutes a day, and then he exercises for like an hour or something like that.
And then he starts his day.
I don't think he says that's just the things he needs to do that day, like in one day. Like he needs to do 10-minute like he has his non-negotiables, which is like 10-minute meditation, 30-minute exercise, and like
That sounds like something you should do every day.
yeah,
Not
yeah,
only during monk mode.
yeah. Right, yeah. That's true.
Sorry.
Yeah. So you're in forever monk mode basically.
We follow his path. Yeah,
Yeah.
man. Well, I haven't
Um,
meditated properly like in 2 weeks because my fucking head is stupid. But
yeah.
I'm not stupid. It just happens.
um,
But yeah,
and no alcohol, and then he says he can add things to that, like
to the list, no?
yeah, you can add like a block, like it's like puzzle thing, like you add like a little block of like, okay, prayer, I pray, or like I'm gonna eat a specific diet during this time, or like 30 minutes of social media a day, like max, like
That's a good one.
right,
That's a
reducing
good
social
one.
media use.
That's really a good. I think I want to implement something like that in my life, and literally like cut it off some days.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're only allowed to have social media. I don't know, like Thursdays, Fridays, and
Yeah,
Saturdays.
maybe I should do that.
Yeah, it's not a bad idea, dude. Yeah, like the whole idea is like the like monks, what they do, right? They take vows
Yeah.
of celibacy. They take vows, like for example in Buddhism, of poverty.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not entirely sure about the Christian ways. How does it work? So I'm not gonna go into it that much. I know that the Buddhist monks, they do turn into like the poverty idea, because one of the vows is also not to own anything, because that also doesn't help on the liberation of your mind. Like it's also part of the samsara, right? The idea that you have possessions. That's why they also like shave their heads, because one of the first things that you have to do is let go to the idea of your image, of the possession of your image, so you lose your hair.
Yeah, shaving your head is like a very symbolic thing, right?
It's very
like
symbolic
of
thing.
rebirth
Yeah.
as well, kind of.
Yeah.
Right?
That's why they're all bald. Women, male, whatever.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. And then like, if you think about monks, you think about someone who are very devoted. Like they're very focused. They're very like, they know the shit they need to do, at least on themselves. So it makes sense, the idea that if you want to accomplish something in the short, middle, or long term, according to the goal that you want to accomplish, like you go into monk mode. It's really cool. Like, I think I've done it myself in a way that you just focus on the things that you need to focus on, so you can accomplish what you want to accomplish or you need to accomplish. And I think that's a very like cool mentality to reach these type of things, right?
Yeah, and it's a yeah. So it's a very I probably our viewers at this point, they've realized that it's a very kind of a loose terminology that we're using,
very
because
broad.
yeah, it's broad. Yeah, like it's really, because I've read that some people say, okay, monk mode is like how to do monk mode. So every day you would come to the office early and like turn
Yeah.
off every distraction and like bring coffee and like try to do work without any distractions for like 4 hours or something.
Have you seen those boxes that you can put your phone and like lock it for like 3 hours?
No.
I've seen like this guy saying like, Yeah, on his monk mode, he was like, when he
Okay.
needed to get shit done
Yeah,
and he
yeah, yeah.
wanted to avoid distraction, he has this box.
Okay.
He puts his phone, he locks it,
Okay.
and the lock will open in 3 hours. So for 3 hours, he's concentrated in doing
That's
his
very
work.
good.
Yeah, and he
Yeah.
puts like breaks of 15 minutes on each hour to have
Okay.
like a coffee or go to the bathroom or whatever. But I think that's really dope.
Yeah. That's
Makes
cool.
sense. Yeah.
But yeah, some people do that, and some people say, okay, like for example, Iman Gaji, he says that the way he does it and the way he recommends it is like minimum 21 days. Like you do this thing if you want to achieve a goal, like working toward a goal, and you want to implement monk mode while doing it, like
Minimum 21 days.
minimum. That's well, it's like a kind of a random number, you could say a month or something, but like that's what he says, minimum 21 days.
Well, I know, for example, fighters, when they have a fight, like an upcoming fight, they have around 4 6 months technically before
Preparation.
for preparation. And this time they go deeply into like focusing on the fight,
Yeah.
like taking care of themselves, measuring what they eat, like
Yeah.
properly. This is considered monk mode
Yeah, it's
in
true.
the fighters industry aspect, life, whatever you want to call it.
They don't call it that, right? It's just
No,
I'm
they don't.
preparing for a fight.
Yeah, they don't call it monk mode. Like that's not the terminology
Yeah.
they use. But if you think about it, it goes in all of these bases
Yeah, it
because
does.
they like get rid of distractions.
Yeah.
They focus on on the goal they have ahead, which
Yeah.
is the fight. They
Yeah.
focus on preparing themselves physically, which technically speaking, they already prepared physically, right? But it's like to get yourself into the stamina
The
of a
peak.
fight. Yeah, exactly, to your peak performance.
Yeah.
Perfecto. Yeah, and then like for example, my coach, she said something that resonated with me, and of course it's true, and many people have said it. But the only difference from two prepared fighters that go into a cage is their mind. Basically, because they're both physically well prepared and in tone. They're both like technically also very well prepared and in tone because they're professionals. That's what they do for a living. Like, they have all the bases, everything they have, like their pillars are very well there. The difference of who wins and who loses is their mind preparation, their head preparation, their mind.
It's interesting. It's because it reminds me of the mind and body of the Buddha
Of
thing.
Siddhartha Gautama.
It's kind of like, are they like the enlightened ones of our modern times or something? Because
Maybe.
they train their body to the peak performance, and
Yeah.
then they work on the mind part to
To maintain
to
it.
win and to win the fight, because that's what you need, right? Like if
Yeah.
you're gonna.
It's like the Greeks used to say, like, corpo sana, mente sana, like healthy body, healthy mind. So like it goes together.
Yeah.
And then like the famous middle way of Siddhartha Gautama, the Buddha, was that he tried to do only body, like trying to figure a way of only focusing on the body didn't work. Then he changed into trying to find a way of only focusing on the mind, only meditating and only the shit. And it didn't work. And he realized that the middle way is literally body and mind.
Yeah.
Which,
yeah.
makes sense
Makes sense.
in everything that you do.
Yeah.
Especially now, like if you work a corporate job or something like that, you have like stress with you, you have things you have to like take care of. Time is limited. Like I have noticed in my life that time becomes very limited.
Yeah.
So like that's a very precious like source, like like resource that you need to do. So when you go on mind mode, something that I think is really nice is that you become very well organized.
Yeah.
So then, not only productively speaking, you take more advantage of the time that you have a day. And then, like, if you really like do it well, then you have time to spare. You have done all of the things you need to do because you have properly like set it up for you. And then, like, if you follow it through, you will have even time to spare to do things like out of it, or just literally don't do nothing. Like I'm done. I have 2 hours of doing nothing before I go to sleep. That's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Like, that's cool. And that's something that I really like think it's cool of mind monk, monk mind, sorry, is that it allows you to put yourself into this place where you not force yourself, but if you want to achieve it, you need to be very, very well organized.
Oh yeah.
And that's super dope.
Yeah. And I think that's also partly why there's one aspect of this that's interesting is your relationships with other people, because like I think one good thing to do would be to like make your friends aware as well that okay, I'm not going to be drinking, for example.
Yeah.
so they also know that, okay, when they say, "Are you in monk mode?" I'm like, I'm
Yeah,
in
yeah,
monk mode, and so okay, he's not gonna go out drinking tonight, or
yeah.
no
Like
late nights, or
we
like
can go for a coffee on
yeah,
Saturday or dinner, and that's it
yeah,
because he's like focused on this project. Yeah.
yeah.
Also, your partner.
That's a big one too, especially with fighters, right? That's
Yeah.
I think do they all do that? I wonder, or I know some. I've heard some of them. They would be like when they're preparing for a fight, they would not see them as often, their partner, or like
I don't know about that. I know that, for example, like very very good fighters, even Conor McGregor has said
yeah,
it, that he wouldn't have been able to reach the level that he reached without
without
his
yeah,
wife,
yeah,
without the support of his
yeah,
partner. And I think that's true in everything you do.
yeah,
Like if you don't have the proper support behind you, like just be by yourself then,
yeah,
because you won't reach it.
yeah,
And then I think another ability is the ability to say no.
uh-huh,
No to these temptations. You
yeah,
said, having a perfect example, like tell your friends
oh,
that
yeah,
you're trying to do this, you're
yeah,
going to do this, you're in this mindset.
yeah,
And if they're pushing, you have to have the strength to say, no,
yeah,
thank you.
exactly,
I'll see you in 2 weeks, or I'll see you
yeah,
another time, or we
yeah,
can go for coffee
yeah,
when I have some time and you will have some time, and
mm-hmm,
we can manage it. Like
mm-hmm,
especially for young people, right? Because you have the peer pressure of your friends, of the social environment that you're in. And
definitely,
also, I don't think this can apply that much to them, because I think it's more like if you want to take it in a serious aspect. So unless like you are focused properly on something, right?
yeah. You
Like
need a goal.
yeah,
If
exactly.
you just want to do it because it's cool, I think it's gonna be much harder.
And that's another thing I think we need to discuss:
Yeah,
the goal.
yeah,
Yeah, like you have to be wary of the type of goal that you decide to put so much effort on,
yeah,
because then when you have like achieved it, accomplished, then what?
yeah,
You know what? Like sometimes that could be like a blow,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
like
yeah,
what some people take it, like call it like they humble you. They it takes you back to to the beginning. It's like, listen, just take it goal by goal, step by step. Or if you want to like do a very very big goal, realize that then the maintenance of that big goal can be the continuation of the goal
yeah,
or something, because you cannot just like, I'm gonna do this, then you achieve it, and you're like, oh, okay, I need to find something, because then what the
yeah,
fuck am I gonna do? You know what I mean?
yeah,
So yeah, that's something you have to be wary of.
definitely.
I like, for in professional way, like project based. Especially, I think that applies to like to you and the type of profession that you do. That's really cool,
Yeah,
because then I suppose you have different level of projects, right? You have a
yeah,
very strenuous, difficult project that you have to go through, and then you have like kind of easier ones.
yeah,
So then you can manage the type of energy that you input.
definitely.
And another thing is the input and output. Now thinking about it,
Uh-huh.
whatever you put in is whatever you take out.
Yeah,
So it also applies in monk mode as well. How much energy you're willing to put to this idea, it will be the output, the result that you will
that's a
receive.
good one too. Like if you try to remove unnecessary distractions, so all your
Yes.
energy goes into this one thing.
That's why I did the example of the box, right? Because one of the main distractions we have nowadays is our fucking phone.
Yeah.
So, like, if you're willing to be like, I need to concentrate or whatever, okay, are you willing to do so? Put this fucking device on a box that you won't be able to touch for 3 hours, not
Mm-hmm.
even see because it's all
Yeah.
black,
Yeah.
and like focus on what you need to do.
Yeah.
Like that takes takes
Yeah.
balls in a way, because
Yeah.
people are very attached to their phones.
Yeah.
I know for personal experience that I need my phone to access my workspace.
Yeah.
And that becomes so distracting, man.
Definitely.
So distracting, because every time I need to enter because I went to a break or whatever,
Yeah.
like sometimes I lose myself on my phone, and then I like have to snap out of it and be like, what
It's
the actual
hard.
fuck?
It's extra hard if now, because like if you're, for me as well, like honestly, going on Instagram for me actually helps my job, actually, for
That's
me.
dope. That
Yeah.
also happens to Annie because of social media. Like
Yeah.
she's a social media.
Yeah. So for me,
Uh,
I go there to see like I see posts and stuff with projects as references and in
right.
inspo and stuff like that. So I'm like, okay, I'm aware what's happening. What, like if I'm working on a project and I would see a post, oh, this is an interesting way they bring this to life, this animation or something. I'm like, okay, something like this we can do for the project too. So I save it. So it's a, for me it's even worse because like I kind of rely on that a little bit. So for me, I would have to be like way more. It's
Careful.
trickier because I can't be like, um, I have to still see it. I can't completely delete it,
Yeah, yeah,
you
yeah,
know.
yeah. And then you
So
cannot like put your phone away because it becomes a work tool as well.
yeah, definitely. Yeah. So you need some workarounds around
You
those
could
things.
only have like an Instagram business account
Yeah, that's true.
and not
That's a
have
good
your
one.
personal
That's
link
a
to
good one.
it,
Yeah.
or like um I forgot. I think it's my sister. I'm not entirely sure. She has like two phones, like work phone and
Ah,
personal phone. And then when
nice.
she's working, she's like personal phone, fuck you. And
Okay.
then like only work phone. And then when
Nice.
she gets home, is like work phone, fuck you, and only has personal phone.
Nice.
And
Nice.
like
Nice.
everything related, like on social media or whatever, she
Yeah.
only uses the work related with work,
Yeah.
the personal one in personal time.
Yeah.
And that's very organized of her. Like
Mm-hmm.
it works out perfectly fine. So that's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
That could be like a workaround, for example.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the honestly, like knowing how hard it is, I would say the best workarounds are usually the ones where we just like prevent ourselves from even seeing the stuff that's on social media. Like,
Yeah.
there's a plugin for YouTube, for example, that you can hide everything in your like suggestions. So when you open it, there's blank, nothing.
Yeah.
So you don't have any videos suggesting you anything.
Yeah.
So
That's
then it's
cool.
like, okay, I close it. Like there's nothing here.
That actually happens to me.
Yeah,
You open it, it's like suggestion. You read the title. It's interesting. I want to hear what the fuck
yeah,
he like,
right. So
what it has to say on this video.
it's
Click it.
it's very especially if you're working from home,
Yeah.
like it's worse. So there are those kinds of workarounds which I think are effective. But the cool thing about monk mode, I think, is that it's not because if you think of like a monastic life, it's kind of something that you devote your life to. Like
Yeah.
it's a very that's why the modern version of it is a very flipped, completely changed version, but you take the useful part of it, right?
Yeah.
The intense mental focus and like dedication
It's more
and
about the mentality of it, right?
sacrifice.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then it's like you can actually just like have this moment of focus for your goal, however long you want it to be, and then you could be like, well, I'm not gonna forever stop, going out with my friends or drinking
No, no,
or
seizing your life. I mean,
yeah,
yeah, of course not.
yeah,
Well, it can be also like implemented like in hours a day, right?
that can also be done. Yeah,
Like I need to focus myself 5 hours straight up,
yeah,
no distractions,
yeah,
and then afterwards I'm free to do whatever.
yeah,
That can work out perfectly fine as well.
yeah.
Like as always, and as everything, it will always depend on you.
Mm-hmm.
Like what works out for you, what doesn't work out for you, whatever you can like um see and manage and
Mm-hmm.
grasp and
Yeah,
and see which one is like the best option and stuff. Like nothing is written down on stone forever, like, and this is the way it has to be. No,
mm-hmm.
that's like that would be more the religious aspect of being a
Yeah.
monk.
our
Yeah.
our minds are kind of very prone to that thinking, religious thinking, though. I think people are naturally, they tend to look for templates. There's that thing like,
We don't like to think about like by ourselves.
yeah,
We like to do others, to make others do the thinking,
yeah,
or to make it easier because
yeah,
we're comfortable just following orders or
yeah,
following rules or following what other people have done instead of like trying to experiment what works out for you. And that is really a bad way of thinking, in my opinion.
yeah. That's the biggest tragedy in a way of humanity.
Yeah, and also like that makes a way to think about ultimatums
Yeah,
or ultimates, or I don't know how you say it. That when
yeah,
you just think in like in the extremist ways, like this is the best, this is the worst. There's nothing in the middle.
yeah,
It's like no, that's not true. And whatever is the best doesn't have to be the best for you.
yeah,
So like, yeah,
yeah. So I would say there's like, when it comes to monk mode, there's like the a more practical, easier version, which is like I integrate it into my everyday life. Like I do a couple of hours a day of like this intense focus mode, um, and then there is a bit more like harder to achieve, but also probably also more difficult mentally, maybe. Like if you say that I'm gonna live this way for a month,
That,
and
that's intense. Okay, yeah,
yeah, like I'm gonna remove like social media usage to a minimum, and eat a specific diet, work out twice a day,
isolate yourself.
isolate
That
yourself.
would be dope.
It's interesting, right? I would want to try
Yeah,
that.
I want to try that for sure.
But it's also hard because you have to like,
Take a month off.
yeah,
I mean, we have 12 months a year. You can take one off, hopefully.
yeah, yeah,
Hopefully.
yeah. It's an
And
interesting thing to try because I mean I know that it it can be so beneficial for creativity,
yeah,
like just getting your head straight.
as a
You know?
reset button.
Yeah,
Like as when you feel that you're so aggravated, that's like one of the best things you could do.
yeah,
You
yeah,
know?
yeah, yeah, yeah. And it's but yeah, it's kind of a in a way a luxury at the same time in our modern times. I think like for most people, um, to be able to kind of do that. But then you know you have to make sacrifices and
Everything in life
'cause
is one or the other.
yeah,
It's like you can have anything, you cannot have everything.
yeah, yeah,
Because you have to say, if you want to say yes to some things, you have to say no to other many things. That's how it works.
yeah.
There's no possible outcome that, like, also one thing, you don't have to be a specific way to obtain something. That's not true.
Mm-hmm.
You can be yourself and obtain whatever
Mm-hmm.
with the proper work, with the proper like
Yeah.
like time that you like dedicate yourself to it,
Mm-hmm.
the inputs and outputs.
Yeah.
But like, and you can have anything you want. You
Yeah.
can be financially responsible, meaning you need to learn about finance,
Yeah.
meaning you need to put time to learn about finance,
Yeah. Yeah.
meaning
Yeah.
you won't have time to be playing video games
Yeah.
because you cannot do that all shit.
Yeah.
you
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
yeah, at the end of the day, that's also like part of the monk mode, that
Yeah.
you focus on a project, so then you have to get rid of other things that won't help on this project.
Yeah, and you can still like we don't mean that like you can rest, like you can still like hey, like I work this much today, but like, you know, I can
Yeah,
rest, but obviously you're not resting in a very unhealthy way. Like you're doing something healthy for your mind, you know, like
yeah,
maybe just like I don't know, read a book or just lay down and contemplate or something like, or
yeah,
you can, if you have like let's say minimum amount of social media usage, you can go on social media for however long you want that day, like 45 minutes or an hour or something. But like, you know what would be interesting, to try that thing, but like, you know, get your friends together, just rent out a house or
that
something,
would be cool.
and just let's just do this for like 3 weeks or a month or
And see what
something.
happens. Like, you'll
Yeah,
have your space, we'll have our
yeah,
space.
yeah, yeah. And
Uh,
like we would try to like, okay, in the morning we get up and we go for a run or we
yeah,
exercise or something, and then in the evening we have one more workout.
I think there's like a space like that in Thailand, where it's like all actually
Oh
only
man,
guys.
oh
Yeah,
I've
yeah.
heard that, I've
And
seen
you
that.
can go for like a week or 2 or 3 weeks, and you
Yeah, yeah,
pay,
yeah,
and there's like these like good things that everything's like super organized and scheduled for you
yeah,
to like succeed in life.
yeah,
Yeah, it's cool. Another thing that you said before that I think it will be like a proper way of seeing life is that when it comes to monk mentality and projects, you should have like a long-term monk mode mentality and project.
yeah.
For me, for example, it's like training,
Mm.
like becoming good at what I want to do in this
Mhm.
mixed martial arts.
Mhm.
I know it won't take me 6 months a year, it will take me 2 3 years.
Mm.
So I'm focused on doing this properly and be consistent for 3 years. Then it could be something like middle, like I'm just gonna use always also my example. I'm trying to learn French, so like that's another monk mentality. I need to do at least an hour or two a day, which I find the time to do so. Listen to recordings, listen to music, listen to movies, read out loud, do Duolingo, have
Mhm.
my teacher, my tutor, which is all online, so it's perfect because it works perfectly fine with my
Mhm.
schedule and this kind of stuff. Then, of course, it's my job, being good at my job. And that's also for the long term, because I don't see myself changing job
Mhm.
soon either.
Mhm.
So like I'm good at where I am. I'm still learning. It's like it's a challenge every day. Like, that's cool. So I need to like, these are the three main ones, for example, for me, that are like long-term, middle, long-term type of things. And then it becomes like the other ones that will be like short or take it day by day. For example, will be my dieting, the way I eat, trying to eat healthy. But I know that, for example, yesterday I ate a bunch of wet. Who gives a shit? Like that happens. That's why it's like short term. Like today, I'm gonna eat healthy today. I don't give a fuck about tomorrow or whatever. Today I'm gonna eat healthy, or I want to eat healthy 5 days this week. So I keep it 5 days consistent, and then like on the 6th day, I'm like, fuck it, I'm gonna break my diet. I'm gonna go for the fattest, greasiest triple cheeseburger that I can find. And I think that's very cool. And then you can apply it for different things. For you can be reading. For you can be like being the best fucking coder, which AI will take your job. I apologize, but like that's the reality. And or whatever it works out for you, you know, like. And I think that's cool. Like it does. Like if you want to do something like, you know, a proper fucking project, specific one that could be work related, starting your own business as a startup, that could be one. I don't know, whatever, like you have bowling on your ball court, or like that's something that should be there. But I think that we should have like at least one or two like life monk mentalities. Dude, it doesn't have to be like in a way that, oh, I'm trying to be very good at playing piano. That means I have to fucking take it at 2000% seriously, and I cannot see anyone until I'm a master at piano. Chill. Chill, you know, like just be like, okay, 5 of 7 days a week, I'll take my classes. And in 3 years, I'll be good at it. I saw something from Mark Manson talking about we were talking about him before, the genius. I love the dude. He said something really cool. You know, like one of the things is that it's never too late to start. Like he used in one of his videos of his podcast, he used an example of this like 50 something, 60-year-old widow who like gets widowed. She loses her husband. So like her life did an 180-degree spin. Like she, like everything changed, right? Like from one day to the other. So she decided to like also to get some purpose in her life to learn piano. And then for 30 years, from 60 until she was 90, she played the piano almost every day. And at 90, she was like playing the piano almost like a professional pianist. She spent 30 fucking years learning piano, crazy. Man. And she was a 90-year-old lady who was playing piano, and like professional pianists were saying like, you play like a professional pianist. Like, did you start playing piano when you were a kid? It's like, no, I started at 60. But she has 30 years of experience. Like, that's almost my entire lifespan. Like, that's the power of like, it's never too late to start, right? If you apply the monk mentality to this, like anything can be possible at any age, which is fucking cool.
It's about consistency as well.
Yes.
That's the thing.
You know, we are creatures of habit, and whatever our habit is whatever creature we are. So it is this, going back to the fighter type, the fighter thing, like resonated a lot with me, is like whoever goes into the cage, they're both physically like experienced, well prepared for the fight and to win. Whoever wins it is whoever mind is more equipped for the occasion. Of course, there's luck involved in many things. I think luck is a skill. I think being lucky is a skill. And if you're not lucky, your vibes are off. That's me. That's me trying to be honest. Maybe there's something you should work out, figure it out. Like, because if you're constantly thinking that you're not lucky, maybe that's one of the reasons why you're not lucky. For example, you know, I don't know, like that could be it. But like really going fast with the monk that's the whole idea, right? Like just being focused and like trying to get yourself in the right mindset and space to do something that you're willing to sacrifice and take the time to do so.
I think like an important aspect also I think is good to highlight is like one component of this is like, you know, monk mode protocols would have kind of like exercise as part of it. Like
I think it's important.
I think it's a good addition because like, as you said, the mind and the body, right?
Yeah. Also stress, man.
Yeah.
Like it helps with stress. Dude, we're in the system that we're like being enslaved and we work our asses off.
Mm-hmm.
It relieves stress. Go for a
Yeah.
fucking run.
Yeah.
Like the end of
Or
the run, you'll feel amazing.
the least you could do is go for a walk. Like,
Yeah,
go for
yeah, yeah.
if you
And if
don't
it's in
want
the
to.
woods, that would be perfect. Or in the
Yeah.
beach, that would be awesome.
Yeah.
A little bit of
Right.
nature, that would be cool.
Yeah. 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 I think that's why I think like one of the reasons I think monk mode is cool is that you can integrate these kind of things like working out into the thing as well, like, and like make it like, okay, I will do this consistently, and like try to start like simply as well if you don't want to,
Yeah.
like, if you're not used to it, and you want to try, just try it, how it would, the mentality of it, right? Like you could set like, okay, I do 30 minutes of walking, or running or whatever it may be, and yeah, and see what the effect is.
The most difficult step is the step to start,
Yeah,
literally.
yeah,
And then the maintenance of it is just how you talk to yourself.
uh-huh.
Like, you
Yeah,
can do this, you got this,
yeah.
like, don't worry about it. You will have a cocoa powder at the end of this session. You deserve it.
Yeah,
You big strong man.
yeah, yeah. I think I think
That's how
also,
I talk to myself.
I think same applies honestly to this podcast as well, the way
Yeah.
we do it, because I think in my head we've been doing it for a while now, and
Over a year, man.
yeah,
Yeah,
and
fucking yeah.
it's evolved, into a routine. That's what we do. You
Yeah.
know, like, we for me, like, the main thing is like, the all I'm thinking about is like show up and do your best. Like,
And we always find a way of finding some time
yeah,
on our fucking incredibly busy
yeah,
schedules that the
yeah,
three of us have.
yeah,
Honestly, it's insane.
yeah,
Like, we might fail a weekend, we might fail 2 weekends in a row, but on
yeah,
the third we're there.
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
we always find a way to make it work,
yeah,
which is part of being part of the consistency of it, right?
yeah,
And
exactly.
part of the energy that we want to put on it.
Yeah,
And we're doing it and seeing the results little by little and organically, and
yeah,
hoping for the best. And that's, I think,
yeah,
that's like 90% of the job,
yeah,
in my
exactly.
opinion.
Yeah, 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 and yeah, and I think that's one of the best things about monk mode. I think, like, obviously labeling it as monk mode is also this thing where, like, it's a marketing aspect of it, kind of, because like it makes it sound like a thing, like cooler than what it may be, and like kind of like, again, talking about templates, like,
Yeah,
hey, here's monk mode and this is what you do, here you go, thank you, and you use it. That's kind of how I think that's kind of how monk mode is sold as well, in a way, because like, it's like, hey, this is a package, like a software that you install in your brain, kind of a
yeah.
thing, and like, hey, this is your path to success.
The
um,
Tesla's Neuralink. Oh
yeah.
my god. Right, sorry.
um, but I think at the end of the day, if you don't really care about making it sexy and appealing, and it's just, as we talked about, it's about like consistently showing up
If
and
it's
working towards something.
Yes, and I like the what you said. If you don't want to do it like sexy or appealing, or just like to put a post on Instagram, like,
Yeah,
if you make it for yourself
yeah,
and don't fucking social media fake it,
yeah,
it works,
yeah, yeah,
dude. It does work. At least it has worked for me and the people close to me that have implemented. I think it has worked for you as well.
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
it's just about, like you said it perfectly, the mindset of, at the end of the day, it's all about in the head.
yeah,
Like David Goggins says, right? We have a governor in our head, and
mm-hmm.
the whole idea is to break that governor, because your body, like, you train it, it will give you
Mm-hmm.
the miles, it will give you the gas that you put
Yeah,
in it. It's just the head, and that's for everything work wise.
yeah,
Like, in any aspect whatsoever. Like, you have a very difficult project, you don't know 70% of the shit, study for it. You'll
mm-hmm.
learn how to do it. You'll see different, like, examples of how to do it. You'll come with the solution of, something that I read the other day that is really cool. Like, understanding the problem is already resolving 50% of how to solve it.
Yeah.
Because how to solve an issue is understanding the issue,
Yeah.
where it's coming from, what's
Exactly.
like making the issue, like why is it there. Once you know that shit,
Yeah, it's easy.
it's
Yeah.
yeah, you'll figure out how to fucking fix it.
Yeah,
And that
exactly.
works for everything, like the project itself.
Yeah.
Like at the job, they're asking you to do this project. Ask the questions. What is this project for? What's the reason behind it? What's it gonna solve? And then you'll figure fucking ways out of it, and you'll be better than your fucking coworkers. That you're just like, I'll do the job. Just like tell me how to do it, and I'll do it. It's like learn how to do it. I've learned this from my coworkers. To be honest, they're fucking amazing. But yeah, it's like try to figure out the reasoning behind it, and
Yeah.
in everything. Also, like ask yourself, like, I want to do this. Why do you want to do it? Because I want to be better at it. Why do you want to be better? Because I like it.
Yeah.
Because this is something that inspires me. Because this is like the ideal that I have about myself. Go for it.
Yeah.
Like go for it.
Yeah.
Like risk it for the biscuit, honey.
Yeah. Yeah, my mindset is a huge it's a huge part of it. And I think that's something that also helps you to push through it as well, because I think one cool thing also about monk mode is that it turns the activity into a habit. And then if you have trouble waking up early to go to the gym, if you're like, if you are doing this monk mode, I think that's kind of the benefit of labeling it as a monk mode, where like it helps your mind to grasp what it is kind of a little bit, where you're like, I'm in this period, I made a promise to myself. It eases the process for you to get into a habit. And after that, it's like, okay, my week is incomplete kind of a thing without, if I don't go to the gym 3 times in the morning, right? Like, because I've done it last week, so I have to do it this week. Or if I can't go in the morning, I have to find a way to go in the evening. Like,
and I like also that is like, I already did it.
Yeah.
That means I can do it again.
Yeah. Like that's a habit formation already kind of setting in, right?
Yeah.
Like,
if I have already managed, I can manage again and again and again and again and again. And then you just start pushing yourself more and more and more and more and more.
And I think the cool thing about like putting a label on it like that is that it can help you to stay in the zone a bit more. Motivate yourself, stay in the zone. I'm like, even if you tell other people I'm doing monk mode, it's like, oh, cool, man. Like it's like now you're accountable also to other people.
Yes, and the promise you make to yourself, fulfill those promises, people.
Yeah.
If you made a promise to yourself, fulfill that promise, whatever the promise is.
Yeah.
Even if you regret making that promise to yourself after, fulfill it.
Yeah.
Because your word is important in general, not only to other people, to you.
Yeah.
Like, you should be accountable to what you say to yourself, starting to what you promise yourself. Like when you're like in that last fucking scoop of ice cream and you're like, I'm a fat cunt, I need to stop eating this ice cream. I promise tomorrow I'll stop. Stop tomorrow. That's happened to me. That was me speaking to myself. But yeah.
Also, I think it's important to mention that I think when we speak a lot, it's kind of us speaking to ourselves.
Yeah. Dude, I'm a psychopath. I'm the type of person that just speaks to himself in the metro. And then my girlfriend was like, Adriano, like, you look fucking crazy. It's like, sorry. Because, dude, I'm just like, just having a dialogue with myself. Like, dude, you said this. When are you going to find it? I'll find it right now. Yeah, fuck yeah. And they're like, Adriano, you just stop, man. You're scaring the kids in the metro.
Don't scare our viewers now.
Yeah, dude, that sometimes happens. But it's funny. But yeah, back to monk mode. Do it.
Yeah. And I think also one cool thing about, and one, I don't know if it's cool or not, it's interesting aspect of monk mode is, some people have like, they add isolation to it as well.
We had already an episode about that. I have it on the back of my head, like niching me, like scratching.
The word, you mean?
No, do it. Like the isolation part.
Isolation thing. Yeah.
Like
you want to do it?
I need to do it now. Like this year, I have to find a way to do at least like minimum a week,
Yeah.
Or like a weekend at least, minimum 3-4 days of just being like, I found this nice cabin, 50 euros a day, like somewhere that's 2 hours away. Just fucking go, man. Just
Yeah.
like stay by yourself, bring some books,
Yeah.
like I don't know,
Yeah.
just like go for walks, like just chill, look at the sky, read, write,
Yeah.
just go back into the basics for a while.
Yeah.
Like just spend some time with yourself, but like not like in a proper like
Mm-hmm.
a way. I think that's gonna be my monk mentality mode
Yeah.
that I want to apply it, like to like leave the isolation part, but like 100% isolated, like
Mm-hmm.
like properly, like literally turning off my phone, not even bringing it with me.
Yeah.
Like not social media
Yeah.
connected, like properly isolated for like
Mm-hmm.
3-4 days minimum. That would be cool. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. So I think like, I mean, in terms of, for example, more practical applications of it, how it can be done is time blocking, right? Like you can block out a specific time if you're working on a project, let's say. That can be one aspect of it where you're like, okay, this is my schedule for today.
Yeah.
And from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m., for example, don't
Yeah.
call me, don't reach me. I'm like gone from
Yeah.
the world.
Do not disturb.
Yeah. Yeah.
I need to be better at that now.
Yeah. Same.
Annie does it very well. I need to be better at that.
Same. I think a lot of people also do it. Like my friend does this. He likes working at night, but he's
So
like
he's a night owl.
he's a night owl, and he finds it a kind of a
That's
very
cool.
productive
Yeah,
for
yeah.
himself. Also because he's a night owl, and then he wouldn't get up in the morning, obviously early
Yeah,
after
yeah.
doing that. But he finds that a very kind of nice, everyone's asleep, no
Yeah.
one's awake at night, quiet, and that's when he like has the period of like
In the
he could
zone.
work from 1 a.m. to 4 in the morning or something.
Yeah, be in the zone.
Yeah, in the zone.
Dude, that's cool.
So you could do that if you want to, but
He adapted it to his own way.
he adapted it to his life, and
Yeah.
as well, like, because for me it would be impossible.
Yeah.
For example, I'm more of a like I would need to get up early. I would rather get up early now
Yes.
than stay late.
Yes. Yes. I think I'm also a little bit more of a night owl, but I'm like pushing myself to be an early bird.
Yeah.
Because I so much enjoy the mornings,
Mm-hmm.
like waking up early. I'm not the assholes from the 5 a.m. club. Sorry, I'm not calling you assholes. Love you guys, and I think that's really cool actually. But
Yeah.
I think physically I can't. I wake up like at the end of 6 a.m., early 7 a.m. to be at the gym
Yeah.
already. But that's like my early for me. So
Yeah.
shut up.
Yeah.
But dude, like just like seeing the sunrise, because I see the sunrise.
Okay.
So that's really I don't know, I enjoy the day more
Yeah.
than just like on the weekends that then you go to sleep late
Mm-hmm.
and then you wake up late and it's like I feel like I've already wasted so much time
Yeah.
of the day
Mm-hmm.
that is like fuck. But
Yeah.
whatever works for you, that's the important thing. Whatever
Yeah.
works for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like your friends like adaptation. I used to have a teacher like in my business school when I was studying my bachelor's, that she like told us that she literally like puts an alarm like at 2:30 a.m., like 2:30 a.m. to wake up, and then she just like have some tea, and then she stays like from 3 a.m. to 4 a.m. just writing notes, contemplating ideas and stuff, and that's how she started with her business, her restaurants and shit, like the concept and everything. And I don't think it's only her, but according to her, what she told us back at the time is that that's where the creative juice comes from, like this hour at night. I mean, I don't know, but it's cool.
Yeah,
I think he kind of does something similar.
Yeah.
So, and that reminded me of my teacher. So, like, that worked out for her. I'm telling you, she was very, very successful.
Yeah.
She is very successful.
Yeah.
So that's cool.
Yeah, I think it's like a very yeah, you like it's I think the lesson here is kind of try to find what works for your lifestyle and for you. I think for me, I honestly like wouldn't say that that's the most optimal thing also to maintain it for a long time, because I mean, in the evenings, like for me, I usually spend it with my girlfriend or with other people, or like I would have obligations normally in the evenings. Like, so for me, I would need to, like, I can't do the whole night thing, because then I can't wake up early. I don't go to the gym on time, and like I think also another thing is like, you know, it depends on your job and what you have to do, because if your job requires you to be up at 9 a.m. like
Yeah,
9, 10, like you need to, you know, you need to be there engaged,
but
talking with people.
you can like the 8 hours of sleep or the 7 to 8 hours of sleep, consistently sleep. It's not the only way our body can actually like have a sleeping schedule.
Yeah.
There are different like sleeping calendars or schedules with different
Yeah.
names. There's one that you sleep for 2 hours, you wake up, you sleep for 2 hours, you wake.
Really?
Yeah. There's many different types of. The most common used, or the one that the majority of the human population does, is the 7 to 8 hours sleep at night. But there's many ones that there's at least I can think of 5 right now in my head that have come out.
Okay.
Like, you know, like in the medieval times, they used to go to sleep like when the sun came down, so like at fucking 8 p.m.
Okay.
and like fall asleep, then wake up like around 1 a.m., like light a candle because it was dangerous. So you needed to be awake if something happened. So from 1 a.m. to like 4 a.m., you were awake. Then you went back to sleep again until the sunrise. And you had like your proper like 8 hours of sleep.
so
You just
interesting.
divide it into two.
That's very interesting.
So like it will depend, like also for us, like because of our work thing.
Yeah,
Because
work
we have
is a
to.
huge thing.
Yeah, it's a huge thing.
Because the rest of the world is, that's when they are up, so I have to be
Exactly. And it's like you're scheduled to work while we're paying you. You have to be there from 9 to 5, 6, whatever.
Yeah.
You know, like this is the times we're the most busy, the times we need you the most. It's not like
exactly.
if you have your own type of fucking schedule work out for you, you could do many fucking things that work out perfectly.
Yeah. I think it's more usually possible for creative jobs as well. Where like you need less engagement with people, and like you just need to create something. And
or like how you call them, people who work by themselves, freelancers. You know, like especially when you work from freelancers from the other side of the world, then you can have things like it could be hell for you, or it could be something cool, because then you're like, fuck, I need to work when everybody's asleep, or
exactly.
and then I like have this like it will depend on you.
It's also habit thing again. Like habit thing, because for me it would be annoying at this point, because I have a habit of like, now I formed the habit where like I need to get up in the morning, I need to do this, you know, otherwise it's like, what the fuck is going on? My day is fucked, you know. It's
exactly. chaos all the way. Oh my god.
But yeah, anything else we can add for people?
I think I got my sponged out, man.
Same. I think it was an interesting conversation.
I hope you got something out of it as well.
I hope
listeners, guys.
Yeah. I think it was an interesting perspective that I also gained through this conversation on monk mode, because try to like see how it relates to the practices of the past and the monastic practices, and what it looks like today, and the benefits,
or the concept itself, right?
Yeah, the concept itself, the benefits, the drawbacks, and how you can apply it. I think if you could take one thing, I think it would be that like try not to think of it as like a template or like a magic formula to success. I don't think that's a very healthy
nothing thought like that, in my opinion, is healthy.
Yeah.
It's just a tool that will help you get closer to whatever you're looking for. A tool, that's it. It's not the, as Aslan said, it's not the formula to success. It won't change your life. It won't make you a better person. It will help you if you input the energy to it. That's it.
You need to do the work.
You need to do. It's not magic. In everything. It's not magic. We don't live with fucking elves and fairies. You need to do the work.
Think about that, like when you're actually doing the thing, you know, like, okay, I blocked out this time to do this thing.
It's not gonna be done by itself. You need to use the time to work.
What is that thing that you're doing? Are you good at it? Like, what you need to learn.
Exactly.
Because nowadays a lot of people, they think that that's all there is to it. It's just discipline, you know.
My discipline is it. But fucking use it. It's like, I blocked it. Now what? Now you fucking study.
The quality of the work that you do. How good is it?
Exactly. What do you need to do? Do you need to learn more things? Do you need to perfection at what you're doing? What is your client looking for? What is the competition looking as well? Because how are you gonna compare yourself?
Yeah.
Like if you think you're in this world, you're the best thing ever. Look what your competitors are doing, and then you'll learn your shit.
Oh, yeah.
And you need to be better at it. That's it.
Yeah.
As simple as that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And they're not always doing monk mode.
No, which is like scary because you're like, fuck. I need to put some. Yeah, but eventually you'll be there.
Yeah.
That's the whole beauty of it. Like it will work. It will take you time. It will take you work. It will take you effort.
Yeah.
It won't be fucking easy, but eventually, if you're consistent, you will get there.
Yeah.
And you'll be there for this. For other things, you'll have to start doing the entirety of it.
Yeah.
You have to be willing to look stupid in the beginning for if you want to learn something new.
Yeah.
Whatever that is. Honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the lesson, and enjoy the journey.
Yeah,
that's
because
an important thing as well. Just try to enjoy it.
What's the whole purpose of just like you have to have fun at the end of the day. If you make it fun, it will be easier and better, and you'll learn faster and more. As simple as that.
Definitely. Don't be like, I'm like sacrificing myself in this monk mode thing, or like.
I mean, it kind of works. Like hard work works. I'm not gonna say no, but it's gonna be harder than it actually already is. That's it.
You need to be looking forward to it as well. Like it's
and put yourself like, dude. Something I use is treats. Honestly, it works.
Treats.
Yeah, like a dog, man. It works. Like true. I did everything I needed to do. I will fucking tear that chocolate up.
Nice.
That's it.
Yeah.
Like
train yourself.
Yeah. Dude, you cannot be like, I work 30 minutes. I will indulge myself on a fucking huge cake for 5 people. It doesn't work like that.
Okay. It has to be proportional.
Yeah, exactly. Be realistic. Don't be assholes. All right.
Well,
all right, people. Thank you for joining us.
And see you on another episode
of the Human Library Podcast. Cheers.
See ya. That was nice.
Fuck, an hour.
Yeah, that was pretty good. It actually like went a lot better than I was expecting.